I had dinner with Meghan Markle the other night, but she was at the same table, so I can't say. She wasn't my guest. I was a guest. We were both guests at a dinner party in California.
I'm sorry, Meghan. We believe Martha.
Yeah.
Martha, who has, 7 decades of telling us the truth. But what you have, Meghan, is 10 years of lies. So I'm sorry. I trust Martha.
That's
and
right.
You're calling Martha a liar.
We realized her one-pot pasta is just a blatant ripoff of Martha Stewart's one-pot pasta, which turned out to be like one of her most famous recipes. And it's honestly just like an unabashed ripoff. I'm sure Martha's heard about it and is probably like, who is this fool trying to imitate that she's me?
Meghan, I don't really know very well, and I hope she knows what she's talking about. Authenticity to me is everything, and to be authentic and knowledgeable about your subject matter is extremely important.
It's all fake, and what's she got now? What is she clinging on to? Her royal connections, which is why she's sitting there, according to Martha Stewart, blabbing about King Charles and how much salt he puts on his fillet steak.
Martha Stewart has put Meghan Markle in a very unflattering spotlight, telling a national magazine that Meghan had just come back from seeing the royal family and that the trip was being talked about at a California dinner table. Start with the visit itself.
I think it's actually kind of cool that Martha Stewart, who's now in her 80s, she just doesn't give an F, Glenn. She's like, I'm gonna cut this bitch and I don't care if you don't like it. She's clearly mocking her.
Harry, Meghan, and both children reportedly traveled to Highgrove House, King Charles's country residence, for a quiet family afternoon. The meeting was reported afterward, but no detailed public account of that private conversation was ever released. Weeks later, Martha Stewart sat at the same dinner table as Meghan in California, spoke almost nothing to her across the entire evening, and still walked out of that room carrying a story that a major American magazine printed.
And she had just gotten back from the palace, and I think I didn't talk to her really more than to say a couple words, but I know she was talking about it.
Read that line back slowly. She barely spoke to the woman all night. She still left that party knowing where Meghan had just been, and knowing the subject was moving around that table. That is the detail worth stopping on.
Martha Stewart is everything Meghan Markle would like to be. An icon of homemaking, of cookery, a fantastic lifestyle brand that she's created. Meanwhile, Meghan's As Ever brand is a total flop.
And Martha does not leave a job half finished. In that same interview, she was also asked about Meghan's cooking show, about Meghan stepping into the business Martha built, and she did not soften the answer at all.
If you're an actress, it's hard to then transition to a princess, and then from a princess into a homemaking guru on a television show. It doesn't sort of follow. So go from there.
2 sentences delivered flat. No shouting, no feud, no publicist, and she is 85 years old, still the most established authority in American lifestyle, which is exactly why 2 calm sentences from her carry further than a week of headlines.
She invented this thing of having the books, the shows, the magazine, the homeware range, the TV shows that all link up together. And frankly, all of these people who've come after her are imitating her.
Now, the part most of the coverage got wrong, nearly every channel out there ran this as a catfight. The lifestyle queen against the newcomer, 2 women and 1 kitchen between them. That framing is comfortable, and it lets Meghan off lightly because Martha is not Meghan's rival in any meaningful sense. She is friendly with King Charles. She met him in New York, turned up, was photographed with him, and posted about it warmly afterward. She likes the institution, and she likes the man.
Are you going with Charles, with the King Charles, or with Chuck? Oh, I love that. Look how cool you are. Not Charles, but Chuck.
And he looks great.
Yes, he does.
Charles looks great, and Camilla looks fabulous.
So picture that room again. Meghan arrives at a California dinner party fresh off a trip to Gloucestershire, to the house where the king does his own gardening, not a palace, his private ground, well away from the cameras. This was reportedly the first time in more than 4 years that Charles had seen those grandchildren. It was a quiet meeting, arranged carefully, kept close, and by every account, it was meant to stay exactly that way afterward.
But where it goes from here, it's strictly private. Will it remain private? And that will be the acid test for the Sussexes and their sort of relationship with the extended royal family.
And within weeks, the subject is alive at a dinner table. Of every room in California, this one held a woman who knows the king. Critics argue royal proximity is the strongest attention card Meghan has left, and it landed before the wrong guest.
Now Meghan Markle, of course she's going to go around and say, hey, I was with the king. I just came back from the palace, to remind everybody that she's royal, that she can see the king when whenever she wants to.
Royal correspondent Tom Sykes went straight at the mechanics of it. Martha exchanged barely a couple of words with Meghan. He wrote, and yet still came away knowing the king's meeting was being discussed, and then it reached print. So Sykes asked the questions nobody in Montecito can comfortably answer. Whose house was it? Which night was it? Who else was sitting at that table? And how many of those guests happened to know a working journalist?
What now seems to have happened is that Martha is at a party, and she, although she's not even sitting near Meghan, which is particularly interesting, she hears that Meghan is boasting about her meeting with the king to other guests.
Then consider where Martha chose to say it. People magazine has been the friendliest room the Sussexes have had for years, and a source who reportedly hosted the dinner has pushed back, calling that account of the evening simply untrue.
Well, there were enough people at that event that Meghan opened up her big trap to it.
And they are casting aspersions on Martha's mental competence, saying that she must be confused, which is landing very, very, very badly.
Here is what should stop you. Charles appears to have worked this out weeks before Martha did. Reporting says that he arranged that Highgrove afternoon so quietly that even William and Catherine were not told it was happening.
According to Nichols' sources, the king insisted the July 10th reunion remain completely secret, even requiring Harry and Meghan to keep quiet. The palace only acknowledged the meeting after the Sussexes had slipped out of Highgrove without being photographed.
And he did not sit down alone. Queen Camilla was in the room. Robert Jobson, who has covered this family for 40 years now, said she was there for support, but more importantly, that she was there as a witness.
Camilla was there and she was listening and making sure that nothing happened that she wasn't okay with and the king would be okay with.
Phil Dampier, reporting on the royals since 1986, put it plainly, you need somebody in the room who can confirm what was actually said. A father needed a second pair of ears to have tea with his own son.
And this is where I think the whole thing, it feels slightly seedy in some ways, because they're having to do this cloak and dagger meeting between a father and a son because of both sides. The king doesn't trust and the royal household don't trust the Sussexes because they're trying to make capital out of it.
And why would Charles think otherwise? Oprah happened. The book happened. Private family exchanges have developed a habit of surfacing in print with a Sussex accent on them. The palace even coined its own phrase for that feeling.
These people, they did a sit-down interview with Oprah. They've done multiple reality shows. Harry did Spare, where he wrote about his todger and what kind of cream he uses. So these folks who say they want privacy, basically, I'm just not buying it.
Royal commentators read Camilla's reported presence as a sign of caution rather than ceremony. Nobody has confirmed the king's intent. But 4 weeks later, at a dinner table thousands of miles away, critics argue that caution started to look justified.